Right, hello, my darlings, back with the Great Big Ugly for my personal 100 Days Challenge. This is week 13, and this is the Great Ugly idea number 15. So here we go, and look at the size of her now. Lovely. Right, to show today's idea, which is there, I need to get some books under her to hold her up. There we go. So a bit of background for this one. I've had the privilege of getting featured in a digital magazine called The Foxy Rag, which of course is Tracy Fox Creative's digital magazine that she does. And thank you ever so much, Tracy. I'm going to link your channel and link the Ko-fi link for the magazine down below. Now, in this issue was another new creator called Leah Lou's Creations. And hello, Leah. And I thought, oh my God, she's doing an idea book too. And I thought, that's amazing. So I had a quick look. I'm going to go back and explore some more. And I came across this. She's done this triangular pockets spread. I've never seen this before. I thought, how have I never seen this before? It's so simple. So I thought, this is definitely not in my Great Ugly, and it needs to be in my Great Ugly. So I've done a couple of different sizes, and a few different playful takes on it. All my examples are tucked in now behind, with my notes to my future self. So I'm going to link her channel down below, and I'm going to link 2 of her videos that I've mentioned in here. So thank you ever so much, Leah, for the inspiration, and thank you to Tracy for the opportunity for to appear in your magazine as well. So I hope you all stick around and enjoy and have a go yourself. If you do want to have a go yourself, just get yourself a piece of rectangular letter-size paper and a pair of scissors, and you'll be away to go. So stick around. Thank you, my darlings. Be back with you in a tick. Right, my darlings, let's play with a new idea. That is one that I've mocked up from an A3 piece of paper, and that is one that was mocked up from a piece of music paper, more or less letter size or A4 size. So let me open this one up and show you. You have got then 4 tucks or less. You know, you could do this with extra folds, bigger, smaller folds, different sizes, once you sort of get the concept down. I can't believe I've never encountered this idea before. So let's open this up. So again, this is from, not my idea, from Leah's, over at Leah Lou's Creations. So that is your sort of configuration from your A4 sheet of paper. And so let's have a look on how to do this. Pop that back down again. I want to do a letter size and an A3 size version. Now my A3, I've tested this one, and this is the exact height of the Great Ugly. So to do it as a page that I can have a tuck behind, I want this to be a little bit smaller. I'll explain that. So I've gotten these pieces out now. That's a standard A3. This was a standard A3 that I have sprayed with red cabbage water. And it sort of oxidized this sort of bluey green color. So if you look, I've trimmed this one down. I've trimmed that one down on that side because it was damaged. And I've taken about 1 inch off. And that's just for me, so it fits in the Great Ugly. This idea will work for any rectangular piece of paper. So let's try this one. It's a little wonky on one side, but let's have a go. Put the wonky side on the top, and you want to fold into thirds. So I'm not being super precise because I can trim off excess from one side. So I want that one to be there. So into thirds, and then that bit that's sticking out there, I'm just going to chop off. You can do it with your scissors, cutting wheel. You could be super fussy and go in and score your thirds, but there we go. So my wonky bit that's been torn out of the book page is on the top. So I now have thirds. So the next thing you need to do is fold it in half. If you want your wonky bit, oh, let's trim it off. Yes. For the sake of one of the future stages of this, I'm going to trim that wonky bit off the top. Now you can do this on scoreboard or by eyeball. So I'm going to take the tops, square them up, and fold it in half. Bone folder. Give it a score. If you don't have a bone folder, but you have a standard pair of scissors, that flat part there on your scissors works as a lovely bone folder. I do that in work sometimes. So again, instead of folding that in half again, take the bottom bit, fold it up to the center. Give it a score. And then again on the other side. No, I haven't looked at all of Leah's videos yet, but I'm like, this is how I started. I started by just making printer paper mock-ups of things. So we've had this now. We've had it folded in thirds, in half, score there, right? And once you've done that, open it up, and then we are going to cut, what's the best way of showing this on camera? You're going to cut, honestly, go look at Leah's video. Cut there, there, and there. And then on the other side, there, there, and there. So that's how we go. You can be super precise and cut it with a craft knife and a ruler, or you can just use your scissors. And, ooh, a lovely idea would make a really scrappy version of this and use your tear rulers to do this, or different types of tear rulers to do this. So now, it's such an interesting idea, and I've got lots of different ways I think I can play with it. Now, Leah mentioned using washi tape and a washi tape option and gluing, but I'm actually going to try one of these stitched, and we'll see how I get on. So once you've got those flaps cut, you need to form, let's get our example out, you've got to form your rectangles. Yes? And to form your rectangles, you want to get as close. What have I got to contrast now? Hold on. Nope, that's no good. you want to get as close to that center edge and as close to that point as you can to make your triangle. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. So I'm going to start down here, put my finger right on that corner, and roll the paper. Don't fold the paper, just roll it until that point is there, and that point marries up and go down. Now that's gone off a bit, but it doesn't matter. Get them as close as you can, because once the flaps are closed up and embellished, you're not really going to notice. But you're aiming for a triangle. Oh, I think I've snipped too far on that one in my scissors. But it's such a basic, and you know, paper crafters out there, you're gonna clock this idea quite quickly and think, I know what she's gonna do next, because it is really easy. So for the sake of my perspective, trying to film top down, I'm going to turn this upside down so I can do the other side. And that's purely so that I can see what I am doing. So now, I hope everybody out there is okay. I'm getting closer with my big ugly. I've nearly made the 100-day, my personal 100-day challenge of trying to do one a week. I've cut it close a couple of times, but I've done one a week. And the Great Ugly, I had a quick look at the first video a few days ago, and oh my god, the size of the Great Ugly from the beginning versus now is, I'm quite impressed. I've impressed myself anyway. So there. My top, bottom, done my flappies. So can you guess what's next? Flip it over and snip those off. So go. And I want to do two versions of the same idea in the book in different sizes. I've done it a few times, like with that, what was it, the stuffed envelope pockets ones. I did in a few different sizes, just to give myself that sort of idea of scale. So you can take an idea, oh, you think, oh, that's a cute little pocket idea. But it doesn't mean you have to do it in that size. You can take it up and scale it to any size you want. It's always perplexed me how, like, some YouTubers will comment that their viewers have to have exact measurements. You don't need exact measurements. You just need portions. So, trim those off. Oh, where am I at now? Yes. So, the next step with this one is I'm going to glue stick those down. I'm going to glue stick each one of those flappies down. Going all the way down. I'm going to glue stick each one of the flaps down. And I'm going to ink it. And once I've glued and inked, I'll be back in one tick. Right, I'm all glued together now, and I'm all inked on the other side, on the triangles. So you can have these all folding the same direction. See if I can lay something. Put the ruler on the edge of that a minute. So you can have it all all the pockets going in the same direction or opposite. It's entirely up to you. So I do like this idea. You can just glue them in place. There's another option of just attaching it with washi, which I'm going to look at for the big one. But for this small one, I'm going to take this one now and put it through my sewing machine. So I'm just going to sew along the bottom of each one of those and give it a simple stitch. So for that, back in the table. Right, darlings, now all stitched. So I've done 4 stitches, simple stitches, just to secure those down. So no glue in this one. But if you don't sew, easily done with just glue. So as you notice then, these flaps are sort of overlapped. So you've got spaces to tuck. So you can tuck little journaling cards in, but you can also tuck little short tags into those outer flaps as well. So put this aside a minute and let's get stuck in on that big one. Right, so as I said, I'm stuck to something. There we go. As I said, that was A3 that I've just trimmed down. I've trimmed that lot off so it fits in my Great Ugly, and I've trimmed that little bit off because it was damaged. So, which happens when you're spraying. So let's have a think. Now, I want that to be on the very front of my flaps. So let's flip this upside down, and that will be showing on the inside. So the first thing I need is thirds. I'd rather have a little bit, I'm going to do that side. I'd rather trim a little bit off and have it right up to the edge. So my paper's not perfectly square anymore, of course, because I've dyed it. So you get this sort of slight shrinkage or warpage when you're dyeing papers. So, and then turn that one over and line it up as square as I can. There we go. And then I'm just going to trim that little bit off so that I'm right on the edge. There we go. And I'm going to assemble it in exactly the same way. And once that's into thirds, I give this a nice, have some pressure on it. See if I can get those edges squared up. Right, sorry about that little edit there. My hubby popped in the room. So let's get this folded in half. I think that's what I was doing anyway. Half and then half again. See, that kind of wants to go up like that. So I'm just going to keep it pinched with my fingers so that it stays as straight as I can get it. There we go. Where's my bone folder? There it is. And the same on the top. Keep that pinched together. Stay there. That's a little wonky, but the paper's a bit wonky. But those of you out there that like to be super precise, you just trim the piece down with your craft knife or your wheel. There we go. So nice and creased. So I've got my 3 folds and my piece into thirds. And now I'm just going to, how did that happen? Oh, never mind. I'll stick a piece of washi on it. It'll be fine. Actually, let's do that now. Stick a piece. That's going to be on the inside anyway, so that might have been there already, to be honest. Stick a piece of inoffensive washi there. Nobody's going to see that anyway. It's going to be on the inside of a pocket. So, now, same as on the other one, I'll do it on camera here, and perhaps I'll speed this bit up of snipping on both sides, same as I did on the other one, and folding down the flaps. So, watch this. It's going to go super speedy. Right, so all done there. Get this out of the way. So there we go. As my flappy's done and ready to ink. So I'm going to ink this and then I'll pop back on, but we're going to attach this with washi and some glue. So give me a tick. Right, I'm back and all inked. It's a bit of a job to ink these because you've got to sort of do it on this side, and they're all floppy, and you're trying to go every which way to get your triangles inked. So I'm going to do this one alternating as well, but I'm going to use a bit of glue and washi as a sort of decorative element. So I find when I did the practice, when practicing, I thought, right, using the washi, because I fiddled about with that first one that I did along with Leah's video. And using the washi, I'm going to start at the top. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a glue. Not a great deal. Oh, come on, Art. Wake up. Come on. Wakey, wakey. I've been doing a lot of sewing, so I think he's felt left out. There we go. Just a thin bead across the bottom. And make sure it's straight. And then a thin bead across that side. And straight. Honestly, I can't believe I've not come across this idea. I've had a couple of extra thoughts to experiment with this idea. So let's get this done first, and then I'll explain those. Get you a piece of your decorative washi, and I want it to go all the way across because it's going to be visible, and I'm just going to pop it there. Yes, and the same on that one, and repeat going all the way down. So I want this opposite. Get a thin bead on here, and I'm still following the collaboration with Rachel Bella. I'm almost caught up on the videos, but it's been really fab so far. And of course, with this thing with Foxy, the Foxy Rag, I've discovered a few more channels that are new to me as well. So get that one down, and another piece right on top. It is directional a bit, just to make the pockets a bit more interesting. Let's snip that off. I don't use washi very often. I need some inspiration to try to use up the washi that I have. So this needs to go that one first. But I guess if those of you who use washi a lot are probably looking at this and thinking of different ways of using it. But I've got a drawer full of washi over there, a little box. But and I know it expires. I've heard people talk about it expiring before. But You know, if it's really decorative, I'll just glue it. If it's a pattern that I really want. Try that one. And in one of my recent treasure hauls, I got what I thought was washi tape, was actually sticker tape. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to get the last one down. So that one's on top, so this one goes first. And I need to make some cards and things for these as well. Get that one down. Now I've got a choice now on the bottom. Do I put a full length of washi along the bottom, or do I fold it under a little bit? You know, I could have put a piece up there, mind. Can I still get a piece in there? Let's give it a go. Why not? Can I get a piece on that top so that it's kind of half on? Give it a go. Let's see if I can tuck it under. Yes. Yes. That's better. And then fold it over. Strengthen that top a bit. There we go. And then I'm going to add a piece at the very bottom. There we go. And flip that over. So that's using washi to close up, washi and glue. And where's the other one gone? Oh, it's there. So I've got those two. I've got one that's sewn with no glue and one that's glued with a bit of washi to decorate. So, and of course you've got those lovely flaps, overlapping flaps inside to stick some loveliness. And a big one then, of course, as you know, can be attached then to have a space behind. So next, I'm going to dig through some of my scraps to see what I've got that'll fit in here and gather some bits up and figure out where I've put the Great Ugly because I don't know where it's gone. So, give me a tick. Right, my darlings, there's one other idea from Leah's that I spotted that I wanted to share to go with this one. And I'll put both her video links down below. Try it again, Faith. Down below. This one is her number 13, and this is her number 7, I think. I think I've got those right. Don't forget about revision cards. When I saw the video and I thought, I've got a stack of those somewhere. Where? Where in this room are they? And I managed to find them. And especially sort of summertime in your charity shops and junk shops and stuff, keep an eye out for these because, of course, when students have finished exams and stuff and revisions are all done, these tend to pop up. So you have white ones, colored ones, different sized ones. So like that one, for example, is a lovely journaling card. It's already lined for you. It just needs some embellishment. It needs some ink. You could pop them down with the closed side up, like I did with that one. Or you can pop them in with your open side up, and you can attach bits of trim or lace or all sorts to it. So let's get one more made to go in here. So for that one, I just folded the revision card in half and sort of worked out how much I needed to trim off one side. So, and the nice thing about these triangular tucks is that they're going all the way to the edge. So there's no glue edge on that side, which means that whatever card you're sticking in, pardon me, whatever card you're sticking in can be more or less the same width as the sort of sleeve, if that makes sense. So I don't need to sort of trim that down to accommodate for the glue that's going to be on either side, because there's no glue there. So I'm going to pop that one in. I'm not going to bother inking it. Let's stick a sticker on it. I've got some stickers I sort of inherited in a craft stash. I'm not terribly keen on them, but I'll try to find a way of using them up. And why not the Great Ugly, isn't it? So just pop some stickers. Oh, these PVC stickers are awful. Honestly, they're so fiddly. And of course, being on camera and trying to rush doesn't help. So anyhow, so any decoration can go on there. I have to think now. I have notes I'm going to write up for that one. So I'm going to call that ready to go in the Great Ugly. I did find it, by the way. It's on the floor by me. So for that one, I'm going to not fold these because it's a good size. I'm just going to give them a trim. And I've already sort of put a pencil mark on there for the width of my pocket. Let's see if this doll trimmer will go through 4 cards. Oh, like butter. Lovely. Well, I got to come up with a name for this one now. Let's see. So, and of course, I can trim them for heights. So look how snug that is in there. So yeah, I think I will trim a bit off. Especially that top one will have to be trimmed off. Let's give that a pencil mark. About there for that one. And where do I want that one to sit? Maybe there. So on that line. And give them a chop. I'm quite impressed that went through, because these revision cards have got a good thickness to them. But that went through like butter. And that last one for the top, which of course is going to be a little bit shorter because of its size in the book. I'm not going to decorate these. I'll probably use these to write my notes on. And it's going to glue that one on the top. And that one, I know you're covering up your washi, but that's to be discovered then, isn't it? As you're exploring the journal. Or you could put smaller cards. I've got some little scrappy ones here that can be popped in. There we go. Happy days. So that's ready to go in the Great Ugly. It just needs my notes. And that's ready to go into the Great Ugly. I just need to write my notes. So give me a chance to go and write my notes. And I need to put this original template back together with its washi so it can go in here in some way as my example for my future self. So, back in a moment. Right, my darlings. Great big ugly time. So this is what I've got. That's the one that I did from a full A3 sheet. I'm just going to put this in my scrap trolley for now because it's, I don't know. I might be able to fold it up and stick it in. We'll see. That's going in. That was my original piece, which I will tuck in. And had a couple of thoughts. That one is going on a page, which is the one we've just done. And I've also thought you could do this double-sided so that you've got, I've lost my scraps, hold on, scrap, there we go. So you could have pieces going that way on 4 tucks on one side and then flip it over and 4 tucks on the other side. Now, that would make an interesting sort of journal card insert decorated up, because what I'm thinking is that you could also then add, I've lost the words now, lace. You could add lace or ribbon trim down that side of this side and down the other side of the other side of the other side, if that makes sense. But there's a few different ways you can embellish that idea, so that can go in the back as an idea. And then the other one was just do it one-sided. So instead of doing both sides with triangles, leave one side solid, have your tucks on the inside, and of course you could do this on either side and have a flap, almost like a card, isn't it? So that was the other idea, to try to get stuck in there. So let's get her out, make some room. She is a beefy gal. So, the Great Big Ugly. And I've got to make a special home now in here for her, because she is chunky. So let's have a look. I did put a clip in there. My Great Big Ugly idea book. So nice chunky. Where did I put the clip on the top, didn't I? There it is. Yes. So let's go in here. And I'm going to have to, like I did last time, I think I'm going to have to stick a few books underneath to sort of prop this up for me to glue into. There we go. That's a bit better. Another book. Raise it up a bit more. There we go. That's better. So that one's going on one side. Shall I do it as a belly band? Yes, let's do it as a belly band. And then that one then is, I'm going to glue on 3 sides. So I create the tuck on that side. So let's have a go. And give that the top. Come on, Art. And on the bottom. And am I on camera? I think so. Stick that in the middle of that page. But of course, in a journal, this could be tucked down into a corner of the page. It could be used to sort of, you could move it up higher and have something else on the bottom. You know, we're always looking for ways of balancing out the pages so it balances out the beef of the book, if that makes sense. So I stick that one on there, 3 sides. I'm going to sort of overlap that washi a bit. And down that side. Not that it matters, nothing will fall out. And get that in. There we go. And give it a smush and give Art a chance to do his thing. Come on. Art does not like the fact that this is so beefy. And stick that in there. Something to press against. I'm not going to be writing in the Great Ugly as such, directly on the pages anyway, so I don't need a writing board or anything for it. Is that grabbed? Yeah, I believe so. And that's grabbed. Right. So, here we go. Notes to future self. And I've just written down the Great Ugly number and that there's the A4 and A3 examples. Look at the templates that have been stuck into the tuck spots. Test different combinations and different rectangle sizes, because I thought, well, you could do a very, very narrow one in the same format to create an interesting belly band. And I wonder what would happen if you did a really short, squat one. so your triangles were closer together. So that's just an idea for myself when I'm looking for inspiration to go and flip through the book. So these all need to get shoved behind here. Will they fit? Yes. Those all go behind there for my future self. And let's take that big one and write on it full A3 version. And I'm just going to fold it in half and stick it behind there. That's worked out lovely. So, what do you think, my darlings? I'm quite happy with that. Let's have a look nearby. That one I'll come back to later. I'm not sure if I've shown that one. Those we've done with the shank buttons. That is a 7 Plaza one, I believe. That is just using, that's another 6x6 idea to use up 6x6s. Yeah, it's a 7 Plaza one. So I'm nearly at the end of the 100 days. I've only got one more week for an idea video. And then my final week, I think I'll do sort of a full flip through. So that one's one of the great ugly ideas. That was the wallpaper tucks. I think I've shown that one. And on the other side, we have one I've shown, I think. Not much. So, oh, pin in the glue, pin in the glue, pin in the glue. There we go. So, I'm nearly there, guys. I'm nearly completed the 100 days. Just a couple of weeks to go. So, really pleased with this. Thank you ever so much, Leah, for the inspiration. And, of course, I'm going to link your videos down below. And as in her second video, don't forget these revision cards. That was a good idea, that was, because I completely forgot about those. So, no, thank you, darling, and thank you, everyone out there watching. If you've done this, if you've got some ideas for using up washi tape, if you've done different versions of these, please give me a comment and let me know. Please like, subscribe, and I hope you all are doing well, and hope to see you back again soon. So, bye for now.